a merry man.
Hey! Oh, Worf is not merry, but merry. Continued overflow Christmas Day to you all. Still sort of being Christmassy. Little Christmas residue on the day. Welcome, all my good friends. Cannot tell you how pleased I am to see you all, especially my wonderful, beautiful guest for this evening, Purple. What up?
Good evening, Clubby. Merry Christmas, love.
Merry Christmas to you. It's still Christmas, everyone. Deal with it.
It is. We've just had Boxing Day, and now it's a weird Monday that doesn't feel like a Monday because you have that week between Christmas and New Year that just feels out of place. So, yes.
So you all been watching? You watch a lot of boxing on the day after Christmas, from what I hear. I guarantee you that 97% of Americans, who, especially ones who don't watch Doctor Who and or Monty Python or what have you, don't know what Boxing Day means. I learned about it from Blackadder, I think.
Yeah, so there's a lot of kind of controversy about what it actually means. I mean, some people say it's when churches boxed up the leftovers and gave it out to the poor. Other people say it's when companies kind of gave a little bit extra to their workers and put them, like a little bonus. But mostly now it's just about sales. It's like Black Friday that you guys have.
Okay, good. Like I said, because again, I guarantee you that most people have never, or if they've heard of it, they don't really know what it means. I know I was never all that clear on it. You've cleared it up more than I've ever had it cleared up for me, actually. You really have.
I'll take your word for it because that was a terrible explanation.
Oh it worked for me. I thought it was like, so wait a minute. So you're saying those Britishers like to watch boxing on the day after Christmas? Well, I guess I like to watch boxing too. I never thought that'd be a good day for it, but okay, it works.
I like boxing. Yeah.
Yeah, they watch them like Muhammad Ali or what? I mean, Mike Tyson. I mean, who they watching? No, does anyone watch boxing anymore outside of Rocky movies? I don't know.
I used to, but yeah, it's we don't have the the heavyweights that we used to have, and those with the real personalities. Not so much like the middleweights or the light.
No, it's not much of a thing anymore, as the kids say. Mm-hmm. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to say some hellos to our wonderful friends in the chat. What do you think?
Absolutely, we've got an amazing crowd. I can see you all, guys. Good evening.
Indeed, the Comic Relief Crusader. Hello there, my friend. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas. And again, a special friend is here as always. Just always great to see him. That is the great Eric K., the Bronze Wrencher.
Absolutely. Hello, Eric. Good evening.
Good to see you there, brother. Always a pleasure, my friend. Let's see here. Who else? Snorty Poopers. It's a good bear. Good bear.
Just quickly, Kal-El says, Purple Valkyrie, is it like Black Friday with or without the mob of shoppers? It's very much like Black Friday with the mob of shoppers. Not so much anymore because of the goof, a lot of things have changed and it's gone online. But 20 years ago, there would be people queuing up outside shops at 5 in to get a Boxing Day deal.
Oh, okay. Wow. Well, but they can't be as bad. They can't be as bad as Black Friday. Huh? I mean, as far as like the violence and all that stuff, or maybe it used to be.
Back in the day, we didn't do Black Friday. It's only been probably in the last 5 years that I can really remember that it's become a thing, and we kind of picked it up from you guys. And Black Friday has a tendency to last about 2 weeks over here.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Yeah, all those sales. Well, then hopefully we'll get some good deals and some stuff without having to go out there. J-Man, my great friend J-Man, good to see you there, bro. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Hope you all did. Eldritch Lord Hester, what's up, buddy? Louise X Sparrow, hello there. Good to see you, my dear. Let's see. Oh, the great Hungry Boy, what's up, brother? Good to see you, my good friend. What a great friend to the channel you have been in these months, and it's just always an honor to have you here. Let's see here. D-Bud Buddy, the Man of Iron. What's up, man? Let's see here. I had to stop my chat there a little bit. Kal-El, great to see you, buddy. As always, shout out to the great Stone Loki for that intro.
Absolutely. Love that intro.
I love it. Love it. And I love how he Monday nighted it for me. Put the Monday night jingle on there. That was just too cool.
Yes, I didn't know what that was until you explained it. I was like, oh yeah, that's really cool.
And that's classic American lore. Everyone goes, bum, 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 bum. I'm missing the Monday night game now because I don't have ESPN and the local team's playing, but I've given all that up. It's not easy, but I've given it all up. Stuart Mitchell, good to see you, brother. Dolly had braces.
Yes, she did. Absolutely.
And we all know it. Chris Persia, the master of all that is Orange Canadian. What's up, brother? Let's see here. Think of my this chat. You know how the StreamYard chat is when you have to hold it.
Yes.
Can you pronounce this? Because Raquel and I have trouble with it.
I struggle, but I think it's
Well, whatever it is. Thank you. So you do that on purpose. I know that.
But I love it.
Yeah, we love it, by the way. Yes, so never change. Welcome. It's great to see you. Ah, the lovely Sherry. Hello there, my dear. I hope you're doing well. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas. And this is like extra quarters, extra innings Christmas. So I hope you're doing well. Lovely Sherry. Good to see you. Let's see here.
Yes, and just sending love to Hasta. His dad was a little bit unwell earlier, but we've had good news, so I'm glad he's okay, Hasta.
Oh, okay. Hasta, good luck. I mean, and congrats on that. Good, best wishes on that one, brother. I did not know that. And of course, excuse me, once I get to the end of this, we'll make sure I got everybody so far. We'll get everyone who pops in. Big shout out to our buddy Cam out there, who's a friend of this.
Yes, I saw that.
This community.
I was worried yesterday. I'm glad he's okay. Yes,
that was pretty scary stuff. We got to find our buddy Alpha Omega. I'm worried about him.
Yes. Guys, keep in touch with everybody. I know the holidays are a time for celebrating, but it's always good to kind of touch base with as many people as possible.
Right. It was so sudden, Clubby, says Elder. So, man, so sorry about that, bud. But yes, I'm glad Cam is going to be okay. He said so on Twitter. Let's hope. Look, I don't know if this is any vibes out there to Alpha Omega. Get in touch with us. Let us know how you are. Everyone's really concerned, and he's a good chap. And for those of you who know him, it's pretty worrisome. He's been off for a good while.
Yes, it is worrying when people disappear. I mean, it could be for a good reason. But,
sure.
Yeah, if he's listening, please get in touch with people.
Absolutely, and it's his own business. It's not like we're prying. Just if you said something like, "Hey, I'm out of here. I'm not doing Twitter anymore," everyone at least would know that, But it's you just kind of people just shows people who even though they don't know you that well care about you because this is a very caring fellowship and community out here. I hate the word community. I like the word fellowship, like Gary says. But so there you go. Captain James T. Skywalker, good to see you, brother. And yeah, so we all And by the way, thank you for the M's, everyone. At this time of year, I'm definitely not forgetting my old buddy. Mark C., whom we've named this show and will forever name this show.
Absolutely.
After Comics Talk.
Yes. Miss you, Mark.
Yep, I do. I miss him every day, every night. All the time, of course, but every time I sit down to do this show, I always miss him. And so many times when I'm talking about some topic that I knew he cared about, there was something he was into or something, I always think, I wonder what he would think of this. And sometimes I know already know what he'd think. I say, yeah, he would like this. Or I also know, yeah, he wouldn't agree with, he wouldn't like this one. He wouldn't agree with on this one. So, yeah. But.
I always thought that was a really wonderful picture that you've got of him as the in the top corner. I love that picture.
Oh, yeah. That's, Mark D got me maybe another one up there. I forgot to get it. I'll have to get it later. This similar one, but it's cropped. It's cropped better. Oh well, I'll have to get that from myself later when I remember to send it to me. But everyone, this is the last issue of the year of Mark C. Comics Talk. Nowhere near the last ever, but the last issue of the year. Oh, Sherry says something.
Yes, I think this is the message from Cam, isn't it, that he put on Twitter?
Okay, yes. Hi, everyone. Just wanted everyone to know I'm okay. I've got a concussion, some abrasions to my face, and some bumps and bruises. They discharged me from the hospital, and I need to take it easy for a while. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also said, thank you all for your well wishes and keeping me awake till ambulance got here on Cam Cam. Yeah, there you go. Good old Cam Cam.
Yes, glad he's okay, but that was kind of silly what he did. So
I don't even know what he did. You have to tell me.
From what I can tell, he was messaging and had a accident whilst driving.
Oh, naughty boy.
Yes.
Mark
Pull
D with a
over.
C.
Pull over
Yeah.
if you're going to text, guys, please.
Please. Mark D with a C, brother. Yeah, everyone feels that urge. If someone texts you while you're driving, hello there, Mr. Gas Mask Animations. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas. He drove into a ravine, but you got to resist it. And he doesn't. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't need us, badgering him about it, or maybe kidding him about it. I don't know him well enough to tease him about it, but I'm just glad he's okay. Now, once everything's sure that he's okay, then everybody start razzing him about it. So.
Yes, absolutely. Glad he's okay.
Yes. Yes, indeed. But no, you got to watch that. I think Cam also. Oh, if he said Wesley sucks, well, that explains why he's okay. Because if you say Wesley sucks a few times, he'll be fine.
He's fine. Concussion or no, he's working. He's fine.
Yeah.
Now, if you said Wesley was the greatest ever, then I'd be worried.
I would worry for his safety absolutely. So, yeah, because that would be. Oh my goodness! But yeah, and again, all kinds of. I'm trying to think of all kinds of comic book topics for the year. I mean, I can't stand it when I can't think of a good comic book topic. See, Star Trek, we've got that planned for the next 1,000 years because we're doing all the Real Trek every Saturday night. Star Trek, it's easy, which we'll be back, by the way, a week from this Saturday. Everyone, show note. I should have said that at the outset. But one more week off from Saturday night Star Trek, and then the 8th of January we will return.
Nice, triumphant return.
Yes, we had to go. We did 51 weeks straight, by the way.
That's insane.
McKinney Draws, welcome.
Hey, McKinney, good to see you.
It is. It's crazy. 51, and I will. Who knows? Maybe we'll do 51 in a row again. And you know what? That still won't cover all of Trek.
No, got a ways to go yet. Real Trek.
Real Trek. Yes.
I
don't know. I mean, we got about. I think Mark D ran the numbers, but to my horror, I just kind of blot them out. I try not to think about it. So I've seen the numbers on it, but I can't. I think I have a mental block that doesn't let me think about it. However, like I was saying, Purple, it keeps me from ever having to come up with an idea for content for that one show.
Yes, and that's always very, very useful. I love trying to kind of come up with content for shows, but it is very, very helpful to have at least one show where you know exactly what you're going to cover, you know who you're going to cover it with, and you can just have a great time doing it.
Yes, we've even once in a while had talked about what are we doing after that. And I say, I don't want to talk about that. We don't have to worry about that for a while, because every time I come up with an idea for a stream that I really, really like, and I plan it usually I would, if I have my druthers, I like to plan it maybe if I'm lucky, I got it a week or two before I do it. And I got to tell you, there are times I'm like, wow, I love that. I'm so proud of myself for this topic. It's ridiculous. No one ever really cares about it as much as I do, but I'm like, that's a topic I can't wait to tackle. I'm looking forward to that one. And
I do that as well.
You do that?
Yes. I mean, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but if it's a topic I want to talk about, I will talk about it, and fingers crossed the chat enjoys it too.
I have no idea whether they work or not, because people, I just figure anytime you guys tell me anything nice, I really appreciate it. But I always think you're just saying that because you don't want to hurt my feelings. When one day you realize I don't have any feelings, you just go ahead and tell me the truth, by the way. But the lies are appreciated. I love you. But in all seriousness, once I get done with one that I was really looking forward to, I get a little bummed out because I'll think about when I go to thinking of new ideas. I'm like, man, I really like to. Oh crap, I did that one. I wish I could erase it from time so I could do it over again. Even if it didn't go well to anyone else, if it was something I was really passionate about, I know that I was excited about it, but Also, maybe I could do it better. That's another thing. Maybe I could do it better than maybe I was off that night and didn't come up with a lot of good things for it. Which
there's nothing
that
to stop
happens.
you from doing it again down the line.
It would. I've actually have once recently. I did one that we'd already done. And I got a couple planned. You know how I hate remakes, but in this case, I'm going to break my own rules and do some remakes.
It's okay when Clobby does it.
Yeah, remakes are only okay when I do it. In all seriousness, though, if you remake yourself, it's a little bit different from remaking someone else's stuff.
Yes, exactly. See, the difference is Clobby actually respects the law when he remakes something.
Yeah, because it's my own. But
exactly.
But it's funny you talk about that, and you don't think Purple. And since we're talking about comics, this really, really, ties in with what we're talking about, because comics are where it all started as far as revisionist jackasses taking the work of others. I don't know if it's comics is where it started, but that's where I first really noticed it.
Yeah.
And people would there were movie remakes and stuff too, but I mean, as far as people taking over the characters that belong to someone else, or the stories that belong to someone else, or what have you, and quote unquote remaking them or redoing them or revising them. Hello there, Pat S. Good to see you there, brother. I hate revisionist jackasses like what John Byrne did to Superman. Have all revisions been bad? I don't think so, but usually they're very disrespectful to what went before. I'm not saying I made up the expression. I know I probably didn't, but what went before is something I've been using for about 30 years, arguing with people, like respect for what went before.
Yes.
And who went before. That's something that's very important to me. And that's why I hate the word reimagining, Chris Persia, that you put there. I call it de-imagining.
Yes, I always think of that quote, that line from Jurassic Park, you stood on the shoulders of geniuses to get where you are. And I think that's kind of where we are with Marvel and DC at the moment. They've taken these amazing characters that were created so far ago, back in the past, and people love them and people have grown up with them and they've passed on that love to their kids. The same with other IPs, Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who, and it's all been revised, it's all been rebooted, it's all been twisted.
Here's something, as someone who always wanted to be a writer and did a lot of writing as a youngster, I don't know, I have 30 years writer's block now, but I think I have the soul of a writer as far as that goes, and as of a creative person, even though I haven't done anything that's creative to speak of, I admit that, but I still relate to writers and creators, so much so that I do not understand the mentality that says, on the one hand, I really love fill in the blank, movie, comic, what have you, and I want to remake it. Like let's take Peter Jackson, for example.
Oh, you're going to say King Kong, aren't you?
Yes, it's one of my favorite. That's my favorite example of this. Guy is a great filmmaker. No one could deny Peter Jackson's a great filmmaker. His Lord of the Rings and stuff. He actually talked about what a great fan he was of the 1933 classic by Willis O'Brien of King Kong, which had already been proven that remaking it in '76, it was proven remaking it was a stupid idea because Dino De Laurentiis proved that it can't be touched. So, I mean, along comes Peter Jackson. He's made some of the most successful movies ever with this Lord of the Rings trilogy. He can do anything he wants. And he gets the budget. He can get any budget he wants at that point. And he uses it to remake King Kong again. Yes. A second King Kong remake.
I'm going to say something probably controversial, and
that's okay.
I might never get.
Yes. How dare you disagree with me?
I might never get invited back on, but I didn't hate the film. I thought it was overly long. I thought I could see where the fanboy in him was, but I think it was just too big a project for him. He just.
It is well done.
To take it, yeah.
It's beautiful. And the big fight scene when he fights the dinosaurs is fantastic, but most of it's a bunch of gross outs and a long crashing bore. But I don't think it's a bad movie. I just think it's not. I mean, it's not the original. And if you can't top the original, why bother? But what I'm saying, though, more than anything else, even if you like that movie, the movie's got a lot of good. It's not a bad movie. I don't think it's bad. It just annoys me that a guy of that kind of creativity can't come up with his own thing. He wants to step on someone else's stuff. That's the work of someone else. And he's just stood all over it. What is theirs? Is that a Russian thingy there?
Yeah, I think we got it.
Oh, thanks.
They just keep showing up at the moment. They're really irritating.
Yeah, but you know what? They're not even at first when those were coming, and the ones like that, they were actually trying to be sneaky, using like normal human being names. Now they don't even give a crap. They're just like weirdo.
Yeah, no, they've just switched to Russian.
Yeah.
Whereas before they were actually, they're mostly ladies' names, if I remember correctly. It's like
yeah, at first, and now it's like Frizzle Bizzle Blocker. It's like Mr. Fribble, Mr. Fribble.
That's not a name. That's a bad Scrabble hand.
Yeah, Throat Wobble and Mangrove. Raymond Luxury Yacht, Oliver Belmonte. So I just don't get the remake mentality of someone who with that kind of talent like Peter Jackson has. I mean, but he says he loved the original film, and the same. Then he remakes it. I mean, to me, I think if you love the original film, you don't want to remake it. Be inspired by it, yes.
Yes.
Remake it. Now, comic books, okay. The first revision done in comics is one that I can understand why it happened. Julius Schwartz in the mid-1950s, who was a literary agent for such luminaries as Ray Bradbury and Alfred Bester, became one of the most famous editors at DC Comics. And when he came in the mid-50s, and I don't necessarily agree with his opinions here, but I kind of understood where it was coming from as well. He came in and said, DC was starting to get, they had, Superman and Batman were still chugging along, but he started to revitalize the superhero line. And he did do revisions. He did, instead of using the Jay Garrick Flash, he created he and John Broome and Carmine Infantino created the Barry Allen Flash. Mm-hmm. Instead of redoing the Alan Scott Green Lantern, he came up with he and John, I think it was Broome again, and Gil Kane came up with it was Gardner Fox did one of them. But anyway, came up with the Hal Jordan Green Lantern and the Green Lantern Corps, because with a science fiction background, he thought that the origins of Alan Scott and Jay Garrick were a little bit kind of flimsy, and he wanted to give them a little bit more of a science fiction origin. But the fact is, he did do revisionism, and I love, as a kid who didn't know any better, of course, when I first saw him, I love Hal Jordan and Barry Allen. They're my Green Lantern and my Flash, and even though I developed a love for Jay and Alan, of course, but the Golden Age. So what that did was that ushered in the Silver Age of comics. And then later, those Golden Age characters were still floating around out there. Mm-hmm. And so they started, somewhere early in the run of the Justice League of America comic book, they started bringing back the JSA, the Justice Society. And so he had to come up with the idea of the two worlds. Crisis on Two Worlds was the first one where they crossed over, where the JSA met the JLA. So that was a revision done by an editor. And that, obviously it worked and it created a wonderful thing. It's just that in the 80s, a lady by the name of Jeanette Kahn came, who had been doing a pretty good job at putting DC back on the map throughout the 70s and 80s, and really having a lot of wins, a lot of successes. For some reason, she thought she'd come to the conclusion, and I'm not sure who talked her into it, that continuity at DC was too convoluted, like all the multiple Earths. Well, for me, it wasn't. I understood Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth S, Earth X, Earth 3. They were fine with me.
Yeah, but that's pretty easy to follow.
I think so.
Yeah.
But see, that's what got us Crisis on Infinite Earths, which I personally, although I love the George Perez art, I hate the story, and more importantly, it was not written as an idea. It was written as a fix of continuity, which merged the Earths and made it more of a mess. Mm. And then not only that, 1 year later, they let John Byrne change everything again, and they let George Perez and Frank Miller change everything again with revisions of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, especially Superman. John Byrne totally changed it, and that's where revisionism in comics really got a toehold. In other words, yes, Julius Schwartz started it, but it was fine. Jeanette Kahn, what she did, and that changed all of comics. And I'm not saying that affected other elements of pop culture, like in movies and film or what have you, to change it. It's just is it a sign of the degradation of creativity? Because I think it shows no creativity to have to remake everything all the time and revise everything.
Yes, it's like you say, it's not building on what's already there. It's not taking care of what's gone before. It's I don't know what to do with this, so I'm going to rewrite it and
Yes.
clean the slate.
Yeah, and there was a time where, let's say, a new creative team would be brought on a comic that you were reading, or maybe it was kind of a comic. The sales are sagging a little bit, so we bring in another creative team. Usually that creative team would just kind of bring it. It would be, we're doing a bold new direction. And it wouldn't really dump on the guys that were on the characters before them. They just would do their own thing. And I have no problem with that. I never had a problem with that. When you come on like John Byrne, who did say these words now, when he was given the reins to, revise Superman, turn him into Super Yuppie in the 80s, which is what I called him. He dumped on all the continuity went before, and he even said these words: "Nothing ever happened to Superman unless I say so."
Wow.
And he didn't like a lot of this Golden and Silver Age continuity, and so he just tossed it aside and started over. And he made the character do really dumb things like play football with superpowers, even though he claimed to love Superman the movie. And it's just, it's Clark Kent played football with superpower, which is stupid. And he changed a lot of the stuff, and he just discarded what he didn't like, and it was a totally different Superman who had already. I mean, they didn't explain anything why he was so different right after Crisis until Byrne did a crossover thing. And of course, because he's a jackass and doesn't like my Legion of Superheroes, he did a story where he kind of took them out of the continuity as well, and he destroyed. Now later, Byrne has gone on record, as far as some friends of mine have told me, that he has regretted what he did to Superboy, taking Superboy out of the Superman's history. But what he did to the Legion, he's such a dumb. He didn't like the Legion because as a kid, he loved Bizarro, and they took the Bizarro back up out of Superboy and put the Legion in there. Or Adventure Comics. What a dumbass. The Legion's better. I mean, Bizarro's okay, but come on.
Yeah, I think Bizarro's an okay character, but yeah.
Speaking of Legion, did I tell you about, this is comics related, what they're about to do to my beloved Legion of Superheroes because someone decided they hadn't been defiled enough?
No, what are they doing?
Oh, God. HBO Max can go screw itself. HBO Max is developing a, quote, adult animated Legion of Superheroes project. Now, on the face of it, you might go, oh, you should be all over that. Well, maybe I would if with the right people involved, because I've always wanted something like that.
Yes.
But the right person's not in charge. It's Brian Michael Bendis.
Oh, no.
One of the worst writers ever. Yes, Chris Percy, he turned him into a super yuppie, in my opinion. But yes, so Brian Michael Bendis is going to be over an adult. I don't know if it's going to be R-rated or not, Hungry Boy, but it's going to be a quote unquote adult animated TV show. And he's already ruined granted, the Legion have been bad for years anyway, but his current one is unbelievably atrocious because everything he writes, in my opinion, is atrocious. And now he's going to be involved running the TV show.
So is this going to be for an adult audience the same way that terrible Murdoch show was for an adult audience that nobody watched?
No. I think they're going to try to make it so, that's comedy, right? I haven't seen it.
Well, they said so, but it had Patton Oswalt in, so I'm going to say no.
Yeah, he's the antidote to funny.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think that's trying to be funny. In other words, this is going to be just an attempt to do a straight, adaptation, but only an adaptation of his garbage. So,
yuck. Now we can have some really good, adult themed comic book shows. We had Invincible, which was great. I thought they really, really stuck to the source material. But yeah, not a fan of Brian Michael Bendis at all.
He see, I wasn't reading I just couldn't read any current DC comics over the past 10 years, but friends of mine who were reading after the Rebirth stuff, whom I respect their opinions, the Peter Tomasi Superman stuff and Super Sons, were really liking it. They thought Superman is really getting back to, he was getting back to being Superman that they liked, and it was doing very well on a critically and with fans. But for some reason, DC decided, well, we can't have a Superman comic that people like. Well, I mean, that just doesn't work for us. So let's hire Michael Bendis, Brian Michael Bendis, to come in and ruin it. And it's horrible. People who are loving that book are discussing how horrible. And then they let him write Legion. And now, because if you'd asked me, so you're a big Legion of Superhero fan, Heroes fan, what would you like? Would you like to see a movie or a TV show? I would say no. I would love to see an animated series. Unlike that last one they did, which was not faithful enough, and I hated the way it looked. And I tried to get into it. I've tried several times to get into that Legion of Superheroes cartoon from years and years ago. And it's just too much. Well, in this one, by the way, it's going to have the John Kent, the son of Superman, John Kent, with all that things we've been hearing about him lately. Of course it is. Yes, because you've got to push the message. But if you'd ask, yes, it's going to be messagey, all messagey because it's HBO. So, but if you'd ask me what I would like to see, if I had my druthers, I would want to see an fully animated Superboy and the Legion series adapting classic Legion of Superheroes. And I realize it's a pipe dream. I'm just saying, but if you ask me what I want, that's what I want. Would you want it more akin to, say Batman the Animated, that kind of design? Would you like it more retro looking? Would you like it closer to the original comics? I would want it closer to look like some of those DC animated films that went with more of a full. I know they're Canadian, Spidey. They went with more of a full look. In other words, as much as I love Bruce Timm's Batman animated series, and even on Justice League, my preference would be to look more like. Remember, you've seen some of those movies like Justice League Doom, or oh yeah. I would like to see Legion in that art style. However, if they did it, I wouldn't be opposed to them doing it like the Justice League cartoon, the animated, because they were on an episode. Yes, or the Brave and the Bold, perhaps, that kind of style. I wouldn't mind that, but I would like that. I would either like I was talking about Justice League Doom style, or the Justice League animated series that they did, Justice League Unlimited. Remember, they were on an episode of that. If I could have them looking like they did in that episode, I'd be happy. That was a really good one. It was called something Home, not No Way Home, obviously. But something home. I can't remember the name of it now. So. I like No Way Home. That was good. yes. But that's not exactly what it was called, but it was something to do with home. Something home. Yes. Well, yep. But yeah, so I would I just wanted to look like the real deal and them to look like themselves, the real characters, the way I want. And of course, the only way that a Legion of Superhero animated series could be done properly is if I'm completely in charge of it. Of course, the same with the Fantastic Four, right. Obviously. Yes, right. All decisions have to come through me, and there's just no way it'll work otherwise. Let's just be honest. Superman fans, we want a more traditional Superman. Like we remember DC. Why do you say this to us when you know we will do the exact opposite? Yes, yes. Zod, kneel before Zod. Clobberin, what's wrong with Sith bend ass turning? Clark into Cut Kent. Yes, he did. And best of all, by his own father, brought back to life to be one of. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, I hate that crap. Jor-El's alive and evil. Of course he is, because you can't have good father figures anymore. No. You can't have dead Kryptonians either. Canadian Spider-Man had a question. He said, can Purple Valkyrie sing the Steve song? What's the Steve song? Oh, well, she... that's not fair to her. She doesn't know that song. Hey, Ironcaster. Whenever we get enough Steves, and I don't think we have if we have enough, when we get 3 Steves or more, there's some Kids in the Hall sketch that I think she's quoting, where she sings, "These are the Steves I know, these are the Steves I know." But I would never ask Purple to do something like that because she doesn't know the song, and neither do I, really, other than her singing it. I can give it a go, but I don't think I could do it justice the way our lovely Raquel could do it. Well, that's all up to you, my friend. Okay, so these are the Steves I know. These are the Steves I know. There you go. That's good. That's cool. Are you happy now, Canadian Spidey? I know I am, because she's a wonderful singer. Rod Thunderheart, what's up, brother? But see, I don't think, and by the way, you're blessed. It's a Christmas thing because there aren't quite the required number of Steves here.
So we're missing a few Steves.
Oh no, I think we do have the number. I forgot. We got Kal-El, we've got Canadian Spider-Man, and we've got maybe that's all. Well, so
do we need at least 3?
Three,
is that the required number? Three is the magic number.
3. Do we have 3 Steves here? I'm not sure if we have 3 Steves. Far From Home was actually the name of the episode, I think. There you go. Thanks. So there you go. Anyway, but Brian Michael Bendis is an idiot, and I hope he doesn't get to do Legion of Superheroes cartoon. If he does, I'll yell about it a lot and then won't even watch it.
Yes, like I said, at least that'll give you something to cover on a show.
Oh boy, yes, it will. Just why? How about no? How about just don't do this crap? Well, and here's the thing, I understand when people say stuff like, "Well, then why do you care? Just don't watch the crap." Yeah, true. That's wise. But we're talking geekness here, and so still, when that's being done, that means that eliminates any possibility of something good being done.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, when you say, "Well, look, you're not just because you're not into it, everyone else," I say, "Well, that's fair enough," but it still doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to criticize it, because remember, that crap is getting something good for being made. You know, while they're making STD or horrible new Doctor Who or whatever, that keeps that. It's not like someone else can come along and make something good with it, and that stuff can exist on its own. It's not. It doesn't work that way.
No. It's easy to say, "I'll just ignore it," but it's as the case has proved, just ignoring it isn't enough anymore.
Look, I'm totally fine if you decide to go, "Well, I'm not watching it. To hell with it." Yeah, I do that too on a lot of things. I'm just saying, it's just, I don't know. I got to talk about it. Usually, not always. I don't review STD or anything. But Oliver says, saw the new Batman trailer for Warner DC. It was too dark and too heavily influenced on Batman Year One, and it looks terrible to me. It looks terrible to me.
Really not looking forward to that film. And to be honest, it's a film that I keep forgetting is coming out. I know they keep releasing trailers, trying to drum up some hype, but I just don't care.
Yes, I just don't. And I hear, by the way, that that idiot Matthew Reeves has come out and said, I don't know if I didn't read the article, so this is hearsay, mind you. But someone said the idiot who directs the film, who is a Jar Jar Abrams acolyte, by the way, Matthew Reeves, has said that this Batman is sort of based on Kurt Cobain.
I'm sure Kurt Cobain would be thrilled about that.
Thanks for the warning. That's what I want out of my Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you look, I wasn't going to go see it anyway, dude, but thanks. You could have just said, hey, Clobby, here's $5. Don't go see the movie. All right. That's the same thing.
Done deal.
Yeah. Now, I mean, it's like he's purposely making these trailers and talking to convince me not to go. Dude, you got me. You win. I'm not going.
It's just not that into you. Sorry.
Yeah, dude. I don't want to make it all about me or anything, but you keep making these trailers just to convince me not to go see your crap ass so-called Batman movie. Now, look, a lot of people are watching these trailers and thinking it looks good. I don't know what you're seeing. It's so not Batman to me. Not my Batman. Grunge boy Batman could just die. This attempt by the Cringe Woke Network to destroy the Batman Legacy Gotham Knights. I don't know that one. Do you know that?
I don't. I can have a look though.
Somebody will tell us, I'm sure. Yeah, Hungry Voices. New Bat film written by co-creator Felicity. Let that sink in. Yeah, there you go.
Is this the video game that's coming out? Because I do remember it from the DC event that should be out next year.
What Gotham Knights?
Mm-hmm. That's the one with it's not Batman. It's the other characters. So it's Robin and Nightwing and those.
Well, I sure hope all 20 people who want to watch that will enjoy it. Wow, Ironcaster, is this a what? You're interested in this new Batman went the way of Kurt Cobain? Oh, that's not nice.
Oh, he's not wrong.
Ironcaster, you are not nice, boy.
But just saying that, I can imagine how mad Kurt Cobain would be having it attached to his name like that.
I guess, yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah. Of course, right now he would be. If he had, been still with us, who knows what he might be a very different person. So we don't know. But either way, he might like, what the hell? I don't know. Just, I don't. Well, yeah. There's a couple of scenes in the trailer where he's going nutty and just like beating the crap out of a guy, like, wildly for not. He never acts like Batman in any of the trailers I've seen. And this Iron Man ability, this armor he's wearing with the Iron Man bullet absorbers.
Okay. It's from the CW. Okay, so the Gotham Knights TV series is in the works at CW. Oh, God help us. The team behind the current CW series Batwoman is now back to the writers' room with Gotham Knights series in development. From those who are casting directors to the project storyline, here's everything you need to know, and it just kind of lists off the cast. Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh boy. Yeah, well,
you lost me at Batwoman.
Yeah, they can't just do a show about Batman. And there's another thing. They do a show about everything around Batman, peripheral to Batman, but not Batman. And occasionally when you get any kind of live action Batman, it's a movie every once in a while that always has him starting out. It's all about his beginnings. We never get a seasoned professional Batman who's been around a while, or never that often anyway. And
that's the criticism I always gave to the Spider-Man films as well, though, because they always rebooted his origins. I know Peter Parker's origin better than I know my own.
Yeah, it's origin. That's another thing. Yeah, people get, especially when you're doing it and you have to spend half a movie on the origin. But one thing I've been learning about what's with this whole thing that's going on with the new Spider-Man film is how that nobody really fondly remembers those two stupid Alex Klutzman Amazing Spider-Man movies. I got one good buddy. My buddy Flash loves him for some reason. He loves Andrew Garfield, which is fine. He's a weirdo. You're a weirdo, Flash. You know it. I
don't dislike the actor, but I don't think
I like the actor.
Yeah,
but those movies suck. But he's still Flash is still a weirdo. Just in case he's listening, I had to tell him. And he knows I love him. But seriously, I've not heard many people wax nostalgic about him. He's good in the movie and he's good in the new one, yeah. And he's good in those movies, even though I don't like him very much. But a lot of people are fairly nostalgic about Toby, and I'm kind of not nostalgic about either one of them.
I like him. He's okay, yeah.
Yeah, I like him. I like those movies. Fine. His first two movies, fine. It's just that I don't know. When you talk to a lot of people, they don't. Most of the people I talk about, and this is anecdotal because I've had a few people in my everyday life asking me about what's going on with this movie, and when I try to tell them about it, when I try to tell them about the Andrew Garfield ones, they're like, "Huh? What are those?" They know about the Toby ones. They know about the Toby. Most people know about the Toby movies one way or the other.
Yes, I think, well, and that's what a lot of people kind of grew up with, and that's, that was really what kind of kicked off the superheroes, because before that we had the X-Men films that came before the Spider-Man films, but I think it was Spider-Man and Tobey Maguire that really kind of captured people's imaginations.
Yep. Toby is my Spidey, says Canadian Spidey, and he would know. He's a Spidey. If I can't play that role, yeah, well, I'm kind of partial to Nicholas Hammond myself, but yeah, I wish Nicholas Hammond had gotten a cameo. That's a damn shame. They left him out. And I was on with someone a week or so ago. Someone was saying he was in it, but no, it turns out he did not get a cameo. I heard Kirsten Dunst got a cameo, but I don't know if that's true either.
I didn't see it. The only thing I saw of Kirsten Dunst was that she was complaining that she didn't get paid as much as Toby did.
Oh my God! Well,
which was kind of funny.
Well, she definitely didn't get a cameo then. So I don't know who said that. Someone said it. I'm like, are you sure? I didn't see her, but who knows? Someone was saying that the donut shop scene at the end had Nicholas Hammond in it. Well, I remember when I saw, hey, Just Joe, what's up, Jobber, buddy? Good to see you. All I know is when I saw the movie, my first thing that popped in my mind when I saw that guy, and you can't see him very well, is he looked like Michael Douglas. Yes, thank you, Sherry. I didn't think he was either. She was either, but someone said that. People think they see things, but it definitely was not Nicholas Hammond. I mean, granted, he's older now. I actually saw a recent picture of him recently. Like I've told you before. I think I've had him on once, but years ago on the old show. But Nicholas Hammond. I mean, but that looked more like Michael Douglas to me than anything else. Dust Joe says, didn't Garrett Neurotic say Hammond was the old man in the diner at the end of he may have said that. I don't know. I'm big, by the way, shout out to Big Gary. We love Gary Neurotic.
Yes, we do.
I love him, but I don't know if it was he who said that, but I checked with a friend of mine who knows Hammond, and he's pretty disappointed that he was not asked to be in it. And that guy didn't look anything like him. Sean, what's up, Decepticon, buddy? Great to see you, my friend. So it wasn't Nicholas Hammond, but, and that's a shame.
That's a shame. Like you say, even just a little cameo in the background would have been nice, just to have him involved.
Yes, that would have been something. Oh, well, what can you do? So
I did enjoy the film, I've got to admit. I think it was very heavy on the nostalgia, but it was done in a way that was at least fun. It was exciting. I thought that Tom Holland was actually much better in this than he's been in previous films. As he was actually Spider-Man this time instead of Spider-Boy, or just the sidekick to Iron Man.
Yes, he was really good. I think this was his best performance.
Yes, I would agree. And I think it's because of who we had to work with as well.
It's kind of funny. I cannot stand the Iron Spider-Man at all. Homecoming, the only good stuff thing was like kind of Michael Keaton a little bit. I didn't like that one. I really hated his second film, but I liked still. It's kind of weird because I did like him in the other movies when he was co-starring with everybody else. I liked him.
Yes, and I do like him as an actor. He seems to be, quite a likable guy. He seems very kind of down to earth, and he clearly loves playing this role, which is great to see. I love to see people actually enjoying what they do. But I think it took a long time for him to kind of make this character his own, and it's only this film that's just come out that really kind of cemented that, at least for me anyway.
No, I got you, absolutely. And it was just one. I mean, this thing, I don't know if it bust a billion yet, but it's good. It's going to be, if it hasn't yet, it will. It did? Okay.
It has over the weekend. Yep. It's first time since 2019, I think, that a film's done that.
Well, there you go. Good for it.
Mm-hmm. Can't blame the coof anymore for people not going to cinemas if a film performs badly.
Nope. One of the funniest things, because again, I'm not even going to go into all my criticisms of it because I still enjoyed the movie. But Project Storytime, what's up, buddy?
Hey,
one of the funniest things to me about this whole thing is you constantly hear people talking about how much fun the movie is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, man, it's got a lot of really downer, dark stuff in it and still manages to be fun and uplifting. That's when you got something special on your hands.
Yes, it had a lot of heart. Like you say, there was a lot of ups and downs, but it was still hopeful. And I think a lot of that rested on the cast, the villains. I thought Alfred Molina was fantastic. I love seeing Green Goblin back. He clearly loves playing this character, and I think he kind of stole the show. You can't beat Willem Dafoe.
Oh yeah, and I agree with what Decepticon's saying as well. Sony doesn't give a crap about the other franchises. They just want to pump their own stuff. And I don't blame them. At least they're smart enough to want to make money and realize that you have to actually give people what they want if you're going to make money.
Yes. Do you think this last film felt very like the Sam Raimi films in tone? Because that was my kind of takeaway.
Yes, I think they did. I think they did. I think it did. Yes, it had a great feel to it. I don't know how everything just kind of fell into place. By the way, I really loved the Charlie Cox cameo. That was fantastic.
Yes. Even though he
really
swore blind, no pun intended, that he wasn't in that movie. Yes.
Yes, he had to. And it kind of worked because I wasn't sure. I thought he might be. Then I was like, maybe he isn't. I mean, who knows?
Yes. I don't think anybody was really falling for it. People had worked out quite quickly and early on that he was in the trailer, but obviously he had to still say until the film came out that no, I've got nothing to do with this film. I'm not in it. But it is great to see that he is the official Daredevil for the MCU.
Yeah. But after what they did, I won't go far into it. After what they did to Kingpin, oh God, what is Disney Plus going to do to Daredevil? Oh no, oh, God, no.
And Daredevil was such a good show as well.
Yes, it was, especially those first 2 seasons. Third, I had some problems with, but it's still great. And yeah, and that's over. I don't think it's ever going to be like that again. And you know me, I'm not really usually into the super, super dark stuff. And it was just violent and brutal and ugly as a show could be, and yet still great because he was great in it. And I love more. I love a lot of Miller Daredevil. This thing was pure Miller. They barely even credited him at all. They give him nothing. And yeah. So I don't think we're ever going to get that again. But what will Daredevil costume look like? They're going to redesign it to 25% different. I don't know. Actually, the Daredevil costume in that show, when he finally got it at the end of the first season, which aggravated me,
it took a while.
It was passable to me as a Daredevil fan. I wasn't 100% in love with it. It's at least he was wearing a red costume with horns on it, and that was fine. And he wore it a lot more, at least, except for that damn third season when an idiot Bullseye was wearing it the whole time, which I actually hated that. They didn't have to do that. But anyway, that's a geek thing. So I don't know what it'll look like, Ironcaster, but I hope. Well, it almost doesn't matter. It'd be nice if they make it look even better, because I think they're gonna. I mean, after what they did to the Kingpin on Hawkeye, I have no faith in the new Daredevil show.
You know what? I haven't watched it. I didn't watch Falcon versus Winter Soldier. I haven't watched Hawkeye, and I watched maybe 3 episodes of Loki before I gave up. WandaVision just kind of killed it.
I don't blame you. You're lucky. The only one I did not watch was I watched the first 3 or 4 What Ifs, and after that one, the Doctor Strange one, I hated it so much I just stopped. I couldn't do it anymore. But I've watched all the other ones like an idiot.
Were any of them any good? Because I heard that some of them were kind of hit and miss.
Some of them were a little hit and miss, but I hate Falcon and Winter Soldier the most because not only because it was the most preachy, because those are 2 characters I really wanted to like. I like those guys. Let's see. They're all pretty bad. Especially that last episode of Hawkeye was so stupid. Oh, my God. What it did to... Yeah, I mean, they're all terrible. Again, there's a thing here and there, like even in Loki, the show sucks, but that second to last episode, when they went to the weird world, all the different Lokis and stuff, that was kind of entertaining. But one episode being slightly amusing is not enough of a series. So hopefully Daredevil doesn't wear the stupid costume with the tassels from the 90s. Oh, boy. Yeah. It's I don't know. Yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in it. Let's put it like that. Anything they do, because MCU is still bad. And that's the thing to remember. When someone asked a little earlier about what we were thinking of, what we think of the Doc Strange trailer, I didn't think much of it. I think that's gonna. I like Sam Raimi, so if it has a chance to be decent at all, it'll be Raimi. But Wanda's gonna be running the damn thing. I mean, even at the beginning of that trailer, when he tells Wanda he needs her help and he doesn't give a crap about what the horrible thing she did to a whole town full of people. Yeah, it's fine. They were just dumb humans. It's okay what you did to them. Come help me out.
Yeah, since the whole message that they're putting across that it doesn't really matter,
right.
Repercussions don't mean anything. You don't have to, take accountability for anything that you did. Yeah.
Very, very bad. And I think this movie, we'll put to you like this, everyone. Take this one that you have now, the new Spider-Man film. Enjoy it over and over again. Don't expect this to happen with any of the MCU stuff. If it's a Sony one, it has a chance to be good. Morbius, look, I can't even stand Jared Leto, but I mean, The Morbius one at least looks like he does from the comic a little bit. That might be okay. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really that interested in it, but I'll watch that. I didn't even watch the Venom ones. I never liked Venom. I haven't seen one of those.
I watched the first one. I haven't seen the second one. I heard it was watchable, but and that's a shame because I really like Carnage as a character.
Do you? Well, I hear, but so I hear that was some people just thought it was okay, but like I said, I never watched either one of those. So, you'll probably watch it when you get a chance. Then,
yeah, it's on my to watch list, but it wasn't one of those ones that I had to see as soon as it came out. It's been on my watch list for a while. I still haven't seen it, mainly because Christmas rolled around and I just kind of forgot about it, to be honest. But I will watch it just to see what it's like.
Oh yeah. Well, Sean, not only does Kingpin get beat up in a toy store by Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, and not just he cries in front of with a gun in front of his head. Hawkeye becomes a cat stuck in a tree. Literally gets stuck in a Christmas tree. I'm not making it up, folks. I'll say again, Hawkeye, who can jump off of a building as an Avengers and use his arrow rope thing, do arrow rope thingies, like, swinging and all that stuff, jumps to the big, tall Christmas tree in Times Square and gets stuck in it and can't get down like a cat in this tree. I swear to God. That right there, the episode was already pretty stupid. Show's already pretty lame. That right there did it for me. I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. Wow. That's Hawkeye? Okay. Yeah.
And I like Renner. I think he's a good actor. But yeah.
He's not comic book Hawkeye. You know him about that kind of stuff, but he's still, I like him too. I wouldn't mind seeing a show about him. And to be honest with you, I like Haley Stanfield. Or Stayfield, however you say her name.
Yes.
Didn't bother me. I mean, I think she's actually a good actress. She was not terrible as terrible as I thought she was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest.
Is it just that it's not that interesting, or is it because they've taken it in a direction that they really shouldn't have?
A little bit of both, to be honest with you. It's got a bunch of boring 6 episodes. That's not you would think that's a lot of time, but not when you screw around for like the first 2. I don't like what it did to the swordsman. That guy, they have this weird tendency to cast somebody who you go, oh, that's pretty good casting. The guy they cast for the swordsman's a pretty good actor.
Mm-hmm.
And he would have been pretty cool in it. And of course, in this one, he and Hawkeye don't know each other. In the comics, the swordsman talk Clint Barton, everything he knows. And this is just kind of a buffoon. They have this, they fill this show with uninteresting, idiotic supporting characters like the tracksuit mafia and the LARPers. And, a little bit, some of the banter between Kate and Clint's okay. Most of the action's not particularly interesting. The girl, Black Widow's sister's in it. I forget her name all the time. Really cute sister. Whatever. I'm sorry, I don't know her name because she's really not much to her other than being a really cute sister. Is in it. And if you were to ask me what the thing was about, I would say it was about 6 episodes long.
Hmm.
And it opens up where this is many years later, of course. They're in New York watching the play, Rogers the Musical, and it's Clint's having to watch this thing, and it's pretty annoying. And so Yolanda, there you go. And then after the after credit scene, instead of being something of interest to set anything else up, it's just the whole production of that. The whole. It must be 5-6 minutes of that stupid, unbelievably unfunny number. A Broadway musical of Rogers the Musical. I could do this all day or whatever. Oh God, it was torture. I'm like, I thought this was over. Now I got to wait for the end credits. This is what I got to look at. It sucks.
Just think that seems to be the way with the MCU now. They seem to, after Endgame, they don't really know where to take these stories. So I thought Endgame would have been a perfect place to literally end the MCU, at least for a while. But they were so determined to get this phase 4 going, and then they had all the TV shows that they wanted to tie in as well. I think it's just too much that they're throwing at people.
Yeah, I think it would because there were so many things wrong with the Endgame for me that I think that would have been a good place to stop and take a long, cold, hard look at yourself and ask yourself the question, all right, was this 5-year snap thing such a good idea? And since it
No,
probably
it
wasn't,
wasn't.
how
No.
about we do a show dealing with it? And
Yes.
how about we do some things that deal with the 5-year snap? Because it's really stupid.
They wrote themselves into a real hole with the whole snap thing, didn't they? It's like nobody
Absolutely.
knows how to actually incorporate it properly. I know they tried in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and it didn't work very well. The same with WandaVision; it was touched on, but it wasn't really kind of explained very well.
No, what they did to Captain America was unconscionable. He would not quit. I hate that. Any given game is filthy garbage, and they're look. I don't know if the Russo brothers approved it, but that if I went and saw that like 5 times in the theater, and every time I watch it, it got worse, and every time I watch it at home, it's gotten worse. And it's got so many wonderful, great scenes in it. But it's when you really just boil it down, Endgame is a string of bad decisions that should have been nixed right away. If anyone with a brain, and Feige doesn't have one, the Russo brothers, I think they probably got dragged kicking and screaming doing some of that stuff. I don't know. But I'll tell you, J-Man, the musical was supposed to be bad. Yeah, I think well, of course. I don't know. I might disagree with you a little bit. I think they thought they were funny. Hawkeye walked out of it at the beginning, so yeah, the audience is supposed not to like it. I don't know about that. I think they thought they were being cute and funny. I mean, that is what look like. Mark said, and a lot of people have said who have gone to those musicals that that's what it would be like. I understand that. Yes. That's what they would have done. I get it, but they didn't earn the right to do anything funny like that because they had a miserable 6 episodes of dumb crap the whole time. Maybe a better show, and then you throw that in there as a little humor. Okay, I could laugh at it, but I'm not laughing with them because of the crap they did for 6 episodes.
It seems to be they're very short as well. It's they say 6 episodes, but that's not really a lot of time to develop these characters.
No, it's not. Well, especially for her. And again, you know what? She's thought what I thought I was going to dislike the most, and she's not unlikable. I like the actress. She's okay in it. She's not completely like the Mary Sue type or any of this other kind of stuff. He's training her. She has respect for him and all that stuff. It's just everything else they did was bad and had no real story, nothing really to grab onto. It just nothing to get into. It was nothing really interesting happening. I don't like the Tracksuit Mafia. I don't like Echo. And what they did to the Kingpin just made it intolerable to me. It just sucks. But what are you going to do? Yeah. You know what? Why don't we switch gears and talk about some comics?
Yes, shall we?
What do you think? I don't know which comics, by the way. I said that like I know what I wanted to talk about, didn't I?
Well, we were talking in the green room about our love of Judge Dredd, and I was saying that that's one of the comics that I want to get back into properly next year. It's one of the things I want to pick up and I want to actually kind of read through from start to finish, because I've read bits of it over the years, but I've never read the entire run.
Well, see, yeah, and then again, that's what we were talking about. We want to talk about some comics, and you guys think of some as well out there. Something you've either never read that you'd like to read, or something you haven't read in a while that you want to reread, or anything you're reading now, just basically, or something you've read over the past year in 2021. And because I asked Purple that, we were talking about that, and so one of the ones she mentioned is Judge Dredd. Now, do you have any of the collections now, or are you gonna?
I've got a couple, but I haven't got the the proper runs. I've got a couple of the kind of standalone stories that they did. So they released the story with the Dark Judges, for example. I've got that one. I've got one where he did a crossover with Batman. So I've got a couple of them, but I would really like to, from the beginning, to get them. And I know that's not going to be cheap, but I can try.
No, they're not cheap. But yeah, by the way, Judge Death, that's a great one as well. If you can get the Judge Death stuff. Yes. Chris Persia asked, what about Doom 29.9? I never read that. Did you read it?
I haven't. I've heard it's I haven't got it, but that's one that I'm actually looking for. I would love to get the collection of Doom 2099. I've got a few of the individual ones, but I haven't got the full run.
Okay, I never bought any of the 2099 books, but a lot of people like them. At that point, a lot of that was from an era where I wasn't. Well, now I'm really not buying it, but when I was buying comics, but not buying much of the Marvel stuff, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So, but on Dread, and we talked about this a little bit in the background. Yes, I recommend like the Judge Death stuff, Judge Caligula, The Cursed Earth, Blockmania, Apocalypse War, a lot of those old Judge Dredd sagas. Shane Nolan, what's up there?
Hey, Shane.
And of course, when it comes to the time, if you have any questions on them, you let me know, and I'll.
Yes, absolutely. And that's one of the things that we were talking about. A lot of people don't realize the humor that's in Judge Dredd. It's very dark humor. And until you start reading it, that you don't kind of pick up on that. But I really like that. It's very tongue in cheek.
Yes, it's broad. It's a satire. Judge Dredd's not supposed to be a nice guy, and Judge Dredd was genetically engineered. Basically, he and his twin Rico Dredd. I'll never forget reading one of those early stories about how Rico was actually in the first movie, the Stallone movie played by Armando Sante, but in the comic they were twins.
We don't talk about that film.
Yes. well, Rico went bad. Went on the take, and Dredd took him down, and he got sent to Titan on the moon of Titan, whatever. It was a prison thing, and he got all his face all messed up and all this stuff there, and eventually made it back to Earth or something like that, and tried to kill Dredd and had a big fight with him. But I'll never forget. This is early on. I remember reading this back in the early '80s. The story where he ends up finally, he beats Rico. Rico's dying, and he's he picks up Rico's body. He's all shot up. He's messed up, but he's carrying him. And everyone says, "Hey, Dredd, let us help you carry him. He must be heavy." He goes, "He ain't heavy. He's my brother." An example of the wry wit of the Judge Dredd comic. And Louise X Sparrow says she's reading the Orville right now. Trade paperback. Oh, good. Or to be honest, I got a few of those, but I'm missing a bunch of issues of the Orville because garbage comic shops down here won't carry it.
I've heard they're really good.
The ones I read are good. I want to get the other ones. I'm missing so many of them now. I need to get them before the show comes back on. I love the Orville. So let's see. What else? Is there another one? Is there a comic that have you read anything recently though, or no?
I haven't, to be honest, because there hasn't been anything that I've really wanted to pick up. I mean, I picked up a copy of The Crow, which was the special edition. I had the one that was released years ago, but I got this new version, which was really good. I would like to read more of Jonah Hex, for example. That's a character that I really like, but I've only got a few of his trades. And I'd like to read more of the EC comics, actually, more of the horror comics.
Nice. Our buddy Mark, our late buddy Mark, loved those. Now when it comes to Jonah Hex, personally, and again, I don't know if they've done trades on the era that I favor. My favorite is the 70s. We first started an All-Star Western number 10. In fact, I just covered that on my Spinner Rack Time Machine. By the way, Spinner Rack Time Machine videos will be this week for week 4, everyone. But this past week, it's 50 years ago last week, Jonah Hex first appeared in All-Star Western number 10. And I personally love his run in the 70s. I didn't like a lot of the 90s stuff, but you might like some of those because you probably like some of those Joe Lansdale trades.
Yes, I think that's the ones that I've got. Yes, yeah. With the more supernatural elements. Yeah.
Right. I think you might enjoy those. It's weird, Jonah Hex, obviously, he was a Western character, but then I don't know if you know, but in the mid 90s, they after his his series got canceled, somewhere in the mid 90s, they gave him a series called Hex, where he was transported into the future and a road warrior type character he became. I don't know if you've ever seen the comic Hex.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, he became a character. It was again sort of, hello there, fan of Outsider, buddy. He's Minimus thinks I know nothing about Jonah Hex, I guess. I forgot. Minimus owns Jonah Hex. Yeah, I don't know nothing about him.
I need to go to Claude then for recommendations.
Apparently, he thinks he owns him. Look, he has All-Star Western number 10. There's nobody that knows more about Jonah Hex, even the Michael Fleischer run. I don't know. Then Claude, are you happy? But it doesn't mean nobody knows anything about him. Oh, I'm sorry, you own him. Do I ever say to you, what do you know about the Thing, Claude Parrish? Yeah, do I ever say to you, what do you know about the Fantastic Four? Do I ever do that to you? Or the Legion of Superheroes? If you want to get into a contest, yeah, little.
That would be a great show. Yeah.
No, I have to put that because your mother.
A battle of wits between the two of you with your two favorite characters.
Nah, he'd win. I'd let him win to make him feel better. Courtney. I knew he would say that. That I knew he would say. I only know about my thing. Yada yada.
Oliver says, have we ever played any Marvel DC's superhero arcade or home console games? I haven't, but I do love arcade games. But I love the Arkham games, the ones that were on the Xbox and PlayStation. I thought those were fantastic. But the older games, not so much.
Yeah. I don't think I think I played some of those ones in the arcade, if I remember right, but no. I'm old, Oliver. I don't think I played any of those. But yes, Jonah Hex. If you ever need to know anything about it, please call me and I'll get you in touch with Claude that he could tell you. He could advise you because I know nothing about him. Except I know that he has. It's true, though. He does have every issue, I think. Don't you still have All-Star All-Star Western number 10? I know you got that.
I remember that terrible film that came out that could have been so much better.
And that's the thing about Minimus. He actually loves that movie. It's his favorite movie of all time. Kidding. I was going to say, what?
You'd hear the scream.
I didn't even watch it. Did you watched it?
I watched it because I like the character and I like Josh Brolin. I thought, he looked pretty good, I thought, as a character, but it's very lackluster film.
It would have been good cast. Something a good movie. Yeah. Eldritch, have a good night, my friend. Hope you feel better. Hope everything goes better.
Good night, Hester.
Good luck. Yeah. The only thing I've gotten a chance to read recently, of course, because we reviewed Eternals, the Eternals movie, that I reread Kirby's run on Eternals.
Did you enjoy rereading it?
I loved it, and it was almost not a reread when I thought back about it because it had been so long since I've read them in, I think, in the 80s or 90s, and that was like with my garbage memory. It was totally brand new. So I went back and I read there are 19 regular issues, and then there's one annual. And I'll tell you what, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, I think Mark D and Nick and I all did a review show of it, and I really. It's odd. I loved the story and the ideas are just fantastic. The writing and some of the dialogue can be a little clunky and stuff. I say that as a caveat to anybody who might go, it was very much of its time. It wasn't his specialty really. Mm-hmm. But this is some of my favorite Kirby art I've ever seen. I mean,
yes,
it's beautiful. It's amazing.
And that was one of your big kind of sticking points with the film as well, wasn't it? The film was so bland compared to what it was based on.
It was. There's not one bit. I mean, even that stupid Thor Ragnarok had some Kirby, backgrounds in it and stuff. Mm-hmm. Some homages to Kirby. Okay, so you're going to take, one of his creations that is they even credit him as completely created by Jack Kirby, and you're not going to do one bit of tribute to it. Not one. I mean, the movie's bad anyway. It could have been still really terrible, and I would have gone, okay, well, at least that looks kind of cool that they did this or that. This scene here, this scene there, but they didn't even bother to do one. It's so disrespectful. It's so disgusting. It deserves every bad thing said about it. It's a piece of garbage. And yeah, I would have thought that would have been something. I would have thought, one thing, maybe two. Now, some wise guy is going to come on and say, well, you just missed it. There was this and that. Like, wait a minute. If you had to find it with a microscope, it doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to stop the film, the frame by frame it, EFAP it, and you found, hey, look, there's a Kirby thing there. There's this Kirby squiggle back there. Suck it. That's not. No. And there probably is some dumbass who's done that. They found something.
Do you think that that's just because of who directed it, or do you think they just didn't know what to do with the characters themselves and they just wanted to kind of push them out? Because even the Eternals among comic book readers aren't the most well known, I would say. So that's how they kind of got away with not really having much to do with the original designs that Kirby came up for.
I think it's who directed it. I think it's the people in charge with no respect. They just were. She was handed a project from Kevin Feige that she knew nothing about. Okay, zero about it, because he didn't know anything about it either. I always say it. I know I've said it a million times, so I may as well say it 1,000,002 times. They're sitting around the desk right around that same week or a week after that DC announces their New Gods project. And yes, what they didn't just say that, they were saying Jack Kirby's New Gods. I can hear it. I can see it. This had to happen pretty much this way. Feige and whoever else he deals with says, "Whoa, we got something like that? It's Jack Kirby. I know I've heard his name before." He went to a comic shop or something and talked to some geek at a comic shop, saying, "Well, because Eternals in some ways has some similarities to Kirby's Fourth World. I mean, in his New Gods. No, it's not really, incredibly similar to it, but it was him trying to create something new at Marvel that, by the way, he was trying to create it separate from the Marvel heroes, and the DC Marvel wouldn't let him, really. But they said, well, there's Eternals. That's sort of like it a little bit. New Catman, what's up, buddy? And so he takes it, he hands it to this director and says, do this. And did she read the comics? I don't know.
Probably not.
I doubt it, but she may have and didn't care. She may have read it and didn't care, because there are a lot of other comics she could have read. Someone may have handed her the Neil Gaiman run, or some of those runs after it. There are a lot of runs. I doubt anyone handed her the Kirby run, to be honest. Brian, hello there. I have not seen this person here before, but Brian, good to see you.
Hey, good evening.
So I don't think she was she knew much about the Kirby run, but I think she probably was handed the Neil Gaiman run and maybe some of the ones after it. I think she probably was, and she was handed the script, which has some elements of that, and said, "Go for it." So no, Kirby was never considered when this movie when the script was written or anything like that. But that comic, I recommend it if you want to just have something. The art's beautiful, the ideas and characters and stuff like that are just as potent today as ever they were. They were all squandered by the idiots at Marvel to make one of the most terrible movies you're ever going to see.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to bother watching it, to be honest. I probably should, just, to be fair to it, but I've just got no real desire to sit down and watch it.
Jedi Bill, hello there. I don't blame you. Look, even if you got it for free right in front of you, I mean, you could. I mean, if you have a morbid curiosity, go ahead. But it's kind of funny you get something this so drab and ugly, this movie, and then you get something like what's it? The new Spider-Man film, which is colorful and big and broad and moves around. And yes, it has its dark moments, but it has its great fun stuff too. This movie has no charm or anything. Eternals has nothing to recommend it. It's really one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and just a piece of trash. But yeah,
I did think of something else that I really want to dive into that was highly recommended by you to read. Astro City. That's on my list for this year.
I hope, like I say, I've overhyped that so much. I'm always concerned, but I'll tell you this. As a fan of Astro City, which I dearly love, I was tickled pink to find out that it's coming back in March.
Really?
Yeah. I wouldn't. Was it Alex Ross did a little like a poster thing that he sent to Kurt Busiek, who writes it. And he Busiek just posted it up there and said and talked about it or something like this. Whoa! And I just thought it was just a poster. I didn't know what that was for, right? And I put it on Twitter. On Twitter, I just posted up saying, "Wow, I really miss Astro City." I put the picture up. This was a couple weeks ago, and Kurt Busiek himself, the writer and creator of Astro City, comes onto my tweet thing and says, "You won't have to miss it for much longer."
Holy hell!
I'm like, whoa! last year, a year and a half ago, when I did my Astro City 25th anniversary special, I tweeted it out a couple of times, and he actually liked the tweet. I'm like, well, I mean, I did it with Carlos, so if
we're gonna have to get him on the show and interview him.
I don't know, I might try to get that. And it's to me, it's some of the finest work ever done within the superhero medium. It's and this comes from an Alan Moore fanatic. I put some of the best Astro City stuff up there with the best Alan Moore stuff, and I just love it. Not all of it, but again, here's the thing. All right, it started out as a mini series, then it came back as a regular series. That the word regular is probably not accurate because it wasn't very regular. It was whenever. It took a while sometimes. Let's put it to you like that.
Yes, I remember you saying that it could go. You could get like a couple of releases, and then it would go months and months, and you wouldn't know if you're going to get any more. And then all of a sudden, it would be released again, and it was really sporadic.
It was very not as sporadic as Planetary, by the way, another good comic, but pretty bad. And again, it was like, wow, a new Astro City came out finally. Then when he stopped with that regular series, first regular series through Image, they did a bunch of specials and a bunch of like a mini series and things like that. And then in 2013, he started through Vertigo, because it's a creator-owned comic. He and Alex Ross and Brent Anderson all own it, I think. And Alex Ross just does covers, and I think he does some concepts. Whereas Brent Anderson, almost forever until like later in the Vertigo run, did the interiors. And Vertigo, it was weird because for like 4 years straight, it was coming out almost monthly, almost on time all the time. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I remember when I walked in and get like the second issue of it, I'm like, wait, didn't this just come out? Well, last month, the guy just says, wait a minute, it's on time. That's weird. And that won't happen again. Every week I go, whoa.
And did it happen
on time for a few years, for like a year. So I'm like, this is weird. Astro City. Now, that run had some great ones and it had some misses. It was not as consistent. He did 52 issues. What is it with DC and 52, by the way? Never mind. He did 52 issues over the course of like 2013 to 2018. There were some brilliant ones and there were some so-so ones and there were some not so good ones. The worst one's still better than any of the pap coming out on the stands. Even one that was just kind of blah, which did happen a couple times in that Vertigo run, was still head and shoulders above everything out there. So sorry. See, you triggered me and I went Astro City on you. Sorry.
No, I love it because I know how passionate you are about it, and I respect anybody that has a real passion for something and they can recommend it and speak as highly as you can with Astro City.
Well, I think what it is I love superheroes. There's a shocker for you. Astro City takes all of the best elements of the superhero genre and fantasy elements, fantasy worlds, and kind of hodgepodges them together and uses all the archetypes and all the tropes and all the idioms and different storytelling points. Did you ever read Marvels by Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross?
No, I haven't.
I highly recommend Marvels. That was the first time he really he and Alex Ross really got on the scene. It was the early 90s. And Marvels is a comic that takes place. It's in the Marvel universe, and it's like a walk through Marvel history, but through the eyes of a photographer for the Daily Bugle named Phil Sheldon.
Okay.
And it's him documenting all the events that took place in Marvel lore. It's a brilliant book. 4 issues. It's great.
I will look it up.
With Alex Ross art. And especially if you're a big fan of Marvel, it's amazing. And again, it's just about that guy's life chronicling it. But the heroes are all there, but it's his, and it's about sort of the view. So it's like what it's like. It's to chronicle those things happening. If it really, it looks very real because it's the Alex Ross art. Well, Alex Ross doesn't do the interior in Astro City. Astro City, some issues are from the hero's perspective. The knockoff superhero like Samaritan, who's basically kind of Superman. And then other issues are about normal people who live in Astro City, which is basically a hodgepodge of Marvel New York, Metropolis, Gotham City, Central City, all kind of rolled into one. It's where all the superheroes hang out, basically,
So it sounds like it would be a little bit of a nightmare to be just a regular person living there.
It would be rough living. Yeah, that's what. And there's the thing. They do have stories that do center in on the heroes, but not always. Many issues are about what it's like from the perspective of normal people in Astro City, and he tells brilliant stories about what it would be like to actually live in a Marvel or DC type universe where these things are real. And the thing is, though, he doesn't go Alan Moore deconstructionist or Frank Miller deconstructionist. He keeps it within the parameters of, the kind of outrageous type fantasy that superhero comic books are. He keeps it, he walks that line fairly well. Is there dark stuff? Yes. Oh yeah, big time. But it's still, he manages to beautifully meld the dark with the absurdity of superheroes, with costumes doing absurd things. Yes. I've never seen it done better. See, when Moore, I love Moore, but Moore does take it down, except for a couple of his comics. He takes it to, it's easier for him to use the dark stuff. Same with Miller.
Yes.
Busiek doesn't do that.
Yeah, it's easier to deconstruct a trope, yeah.
Right. Mark, Busiek does never deconstruct superhero. He leaves it. He just says, look, this is actually happening, and you'll buy into it. It'll feel real, and yet at the same time, it'll be fanciful. It'll do both. It'll walk the line. I've never seen anyone do that. Astro City does that better than anything. And I just love some of the ones that are about normal people living in Astro City. Just anyway, but sorry. Again, see? Did it again.
Well, that's why I really want to read it, because, like I say, I've heard you talk about it and the passion that you've talked about it. I watched the show that you did, the special, that was really good. And yeah, it's on my to-read list this year. And it's not too expensive to pick up. I've seen, some of the trades are reasonably priced, so I think it wouldn't be too hard to collect the whole set.
Yeah, it's what's that? It starts with Life in the Big City, and you can find them fairly cheap. They're finally be doing something like an omnibus, which I'm going to have no matter what.
I might hold on for the omnibus then in that case.
But the thing is, if it's like any other omnibus, it means you need a wheelbarrow to carry it around. You need
That's fine. I love the big thick.
I love those though.
Books.
I think they're doing. Don't quote me on that, but I think he's talking about one. I don't know when. Busiek did with superheroes what Cloverfield failed to do with giant monsters. Yes. Yes. In fact, I'm probably going to go back and reread those soon. As I've told you before, I do transgress the law of collecting. Well, I'm not a comic book collector. I'm a comic book fan and reader. But I have many dear friends who are comic book collectors. I love getting the trades and stuff also. But I will buy the digital because I like looking at it on the screen. And and Comicology has this sale going on. They got a bunch of these masterworks and stuff for like 99 cents in some cases.
That's really good.
Yeah, $1.99 for some as well. Tons of Marvel Masterworks. I just got a ton of those things. Just bought a bunch of them.
That's great, I suppose, for traveling as well. So if you're, on a long road trip or something, it's great to take with you. I think you can't really beat the feel of having a book in your hands, but I can see why it's so popular to have it digital as well.
Yes, it really is. It really is. And again, I love Epic collections. If I can get the trade of an Epic collection, I always try to get it. But it's still kind of cool. They just had a Valiant sale. That's another one. I don't know if you have Valiant of the early 90s.
I haven't, no.
I love those.
And I know 24/7 would probably yell at us, but I really do like trades, I've got to admit.
Oh, look. That's the thing. I go look for cheap trades all the time.
I do as well.
There's a site called Cheap Trade Paperbacks that has a lot of good stuff. And there's another one. Oh man, I can't remember the name. This other one that once in a while, a friend of mine really aggravates me by telling me about. So I have to go get stuff on there. It's cheap. Like I got that Superman Batman Generations by Byrne. That was like a $75 something omnibus thingy for like $40. Oh, that was last year or earlier this year.
That was good. That's a good buy.
Yeah, I mean you can't. They put on. You get some pretty cheap omnibuses on that site.
I like the omnibuses, but they are so expensive.
God. Oh man, they are. But usually, if you wait them out, not always. Usually, though, if you wait them out, they'll be fairly cheap. I'm going to be reviewing some Alan Moore Superman stuff soon with Max von Priestley. I think he wants to do that with me. I don't know if he's going to be able to this week. So this Wednesday, I'll probably just do open, but on a Wednesday coming up soon, we're going to be reviewing that.
Nice.
I don't know if you ever read his Superman stories.
I haven't. I was never a massive Superman fan. I know that's probably heresy, but Batman was always my favorite. And that's what I read a lot of growing up.
Heresy. Nope, not heresy at all. Not heresy at all.
Shame.
No, I still love you. How dare you? Was it remember I told you that about that I think I showed you about that Hulk comic that we talked about a while back. That,
I remember.
Comic Con, did I show you that? Yeah, so there you go. But yeah, these masterworks are just incredible. I was trying to find my Superman reprint. Oh well. Anyway, but I've been rereading Power Man and Iron Fist. The first one of those. That was a good comic.
Nice.
Yeah. I got a Howard the Duck one.
Never read any Howard the Duck.
Weird stuff from the 70s. Was weird comics, that's why I liked them. But yeah, sorry 24.
Yeah, we love you 24. We do. We promise.
Yeah. What can I tell you? Let's see here. Let's see. I'm surprised Netflix is showing the other Super People shows like Mark Millar's Jupiter's Legacy and Super Crooks. I don't know Super Crooks.
No, I remember Jupiter's Legacy.
I know of it, but I know the comic, but I never read it. You read it or no?
I haven't. No, I just know of it.
Yeah. I'll never reread it. What else? What about? Oh yeah, but again, I like this reader thing they have on Comicology.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it really easier to read these things. And just blow up the screen there. Oh my God! Look, I'm looking at all these comics I bought.
Man, I don't think you're a comic book fan, Clobby.
Yeah. Look at all these. Let's see here. I was going to share the screen. Look at all these deals I got. Hey, your Muslim uncle. My goodness, good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for the $1.99 super chat. I appreciate you. Hail and happy New Year, Clobberers indeed, from Sufi Mom. Your Muslim uncle, thank you so much. I hope you and your family had a wonderful Christmas and are doing well, my friend. And happy New Year to you.
Yes, happy New Year.
Indeed. Let's see here. Share. All right, here we go. You think Comicology get me mad at me for doing this?
Probably not. Claude said, I read Howard the Duck #1 to my granddaughter as a bedtime story once.
I'm not even sure what that means.
I'm going to have to read some Howard the Duck just to see what it's like.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, Moon Knight's coming out as a TV show soon.
Yes, I like the trailer. It got me interested. I thought that was pretty cool.
Really? I didn't see the trailer. Did I see it? I don't think. Is there a trailer? Okay, I have to watch that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I bought a bunch of these Astro Cities. Where you at? Now, boys and girls, it is time for Read Along with... I'm just kidding. I'm not going to. I'm just saying. Because you could get in trouble for that, probably. It's time, but
ASMR with Clobby.
Yes. Tonight, boys and girls, we're going to be reading from Astro City. Oh, Mark Wade's name. Yuck. Anyway, the story was brilliant. But, you know, I always have to stop myself because then I'll tell everybody what happened. Have you ever done that? Have you ever told somebody about a story that you liked and you told them everything that happened in it? And then you realize, well, now I know what happened and I don't have to read it.
You kind of spoiled the surprise for them. Yes. Yeah, I've done that. Yeah, I've done that. But it's only because you were so excited about it, you want to share it with somebody.
I've learned not to do that, but I know a lot of people that will do that. But I did that back in the 90s to Carlos, he's the one that did my Astro City show with me and many others, and Alan Moore show we did together. I did that to him once on something. And it pissed him off so much. If there's any kind of movie coming out anytime like 5 months in advance, he won't talk to me for like a year. Just so if they saw spoiler for him. Yeah, which I totally wouldn't. I don't do that anymore.
No, but it is hard sometimes to avoid spoilers. I mean, I obviously with the last film, I was dodging spoilers left and right with the Spider-Man because I didn't want to know. I mean, we kind of knew what was going to happen, but at the same time, I wanted to go in knowing as little as possible about the film.
No, yeah, oh yeah. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like Claude who calls people spoiler pansies. He thinks you're big. He thinks people who don't like spoilers are big wussies.
It wouldn't ruin it for me, but it would take a little bit of the shine off. That's all.
No, I got it. Oh my goodness. Oh well. So, what is something before we get out of here? What is something else that you mentioned? Dread. You said you hadn't read much later. Give me one or two, or maybe three, whatever, of some things that you would like to read.
I would like to go back to Batman. I mean, there's a lot from the 80s that I didn't read. There's a lot of the Batman animated comics. I've got a few of them, but I haven't got the full run, so I'd like to try and pick up as many of those as possible because I really like those. I thought they were pretty good, really well written. And like I said, I'd like to read more of the horror comics. I'd like to get back into EC comics to read those.
Yes. And now, do you have a place that you go? I mean, I know you must have some good comic shops near you.
I've got a couple, yeah. We've got one that's more kind of like a generic one. It's Forbidden Planet, which is kind of a brand. I think you guys have Forbidden Planet as well. But we do have one that's more a standalone business that's kind of just about held on. I mean, they sell a lot of kind of toys and Funko Pops as well, but upstairs they do have a dedicated section to back issues, and they've got a really good selection. And that's where I go.
I don't think we have one here unless it's in New York or something. Is there one in New York, maybe?
Maybe. I thought it was kind of...
I don't know. I always thought there was... I thought it was only over there. Because excuse me. Because I've heard about Forbidden Planet a lot. Oh, there you go. Shane Nolan grew up there. So, yeah. I've always wanted to go to it. I've always wanted to go to New York to go to Midtown Comics.
I've got some really good suggestions. Duba Martin says, have you read any of the EC archives? I've read a couple of them, but they're the ones I'd like to pick up. And Hungry Boy says, read Creepy and Eerie from 1972 to 77 for horror comics. You shan't be disappointed. Nice. Thank you.
Yeah. If you like that kind of stuff, if you like horror comics.
I do, yes. And I'd like to find something similar to...
Vampirella. Just kidding.
Yes, Vampirella, exactly. I'd like to find something similar to Jonah Hex because I really like Weird West as a genre. So like the supernatural and the Western mixed in. If I can find something along those lines, I'd like to read as well.
DC had a title called Weird Western, of course, in the old days.
I'll check that out.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I was going to show you. I was going to show you the debut of Jonah Hex right here. This
there he is.
This is up from my spinner rack vids I'm still making. And he All-Star Western number 10.
Nice.
Would it be spoilerly? I don't know if Claude said I should ask him. Would it be spoilerish? He hates when I do that. To tell everyone what happened to Jonah Hex's ultimate fate? That would be. Would you consider that to be spoilery?
I guess, I suppose, but do it anyway.
Are you sure? Claude and I were actually talking about this the other day. All right, it's in a comic that's 50-something years old, for God's sake. Well,
I think after 50 years, yes.
All right, Claude, what issue was it that had the Jonah Hex? They had his body stuffed in a Western show or something. Is an old man? And then later in the Hex comic I was telling you about, where he's in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was in that one, or one of where he saw himself stuffed.
That'll freak you out, wouldn't it? And that actually happened, if I remember correctly. There were kind of mummified cowboys that used to be on show.
Yeah. Jonah Hex Spectacular number 1, that's it. With that a story where he sees himself. That's where it was. Okay. I was thinking they did it in Hex. I think they mentioned it in Hex too. But we were talking about that the other night. I already forgot the damn comic. So, yes, Jonah Hex Spectacular number 1. See, I love the old school Jonah Hex. I remember being just outraged when I saw that stupid, what was it? The Joe Lansdale version of in the was in the 90s. What was that called again? Jonah Hex Two Gun Mojo.
Mm-hmm.
You know what really sucks that when you try to Google Jonah Hex, you end up with Jonah Hill first. If I end up with the movie, I'm really going to be pissed off. Oh, God, screw the movie.
There he goes.
Oh, man. What the hell?
That had Megan Fox in, if I remember correctly.
It did.
Yes.
You have to put comics behind it. That's a damn shame. Isn't that a travesty? Oh, my goodness. He turned into a sideshow attraction. His dead finger pulled the trigger and killed the guy who killed him. And also, yeah. Did you remember him being on Batman animated series?
Mm-hmm, I do. I remember. And I was surprised to see him, to be honest.
Yeah. That was pretty good, though.
It was.
That was pretty good. See, this is Jonah Hex to me. Right here.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of those other ones. Old school Jonah. Just me. I know we're all there. Some people like Two Gun. I better not say that because I have a different name for it, but it would be nice to say it. My Jonah Hex is this guy right here. I know I'm not allowed to have Jonah Hex because Minimus owns the right to him.
Of course.
But I'm just saying. Jonah Hex,
you can borrow him.
Where's Jonah Hex Spectacular? Number 1. See, he had there's no way they would do that now. I'm surprised they did it when they did it. You know, him having the Confederate walking around with this Confederate uniform all the time. No way, right? They wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't be able to get away with that, especially that one in the top left corner. Yes, that's a no-no.
And that was in the 2000s. That's that later series, yeah. That's a later series, but yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Weird Western Tales, Jonah Hex. Let's see here. Jonah Hex Spectacular, number 1. I want that now. You know who has a copy?
Is it Claude?
Yes. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Claude has a copy.
He says, I do own Jonah Hex. You can't have him.
Yeah. I don't have this issue anymore, though. No ads. Look at that. That's the one.
That's cool. I love that.
Yeah. Great stuff.
You don't get comic covers like that anymore.
Oh, no.
You don't get the movement in them anymore. It's static.
Exactly. And the color and all that stuff. God, this is a great cover right here. But see, these weren't really, they were just Western stories. So I kind of love this cover right here.
And I love Westerns. It's one of my favorite genres.
Oh, look, there he is. He's stuffed.
Yeah, there he is.
How about that? Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
That's funny.
Well, I think I've kept you here long enough there. I know you're very tired and you know you need to run.
Yes, I do, unfortunately. I am
okay.
Sorry.
Nothing to be sorry about. I'm just so glad you're here, and I really appreciate you hanging out with me. Let us do it again soon. I'm hopeful,
yes, please.
I'm hopeful that we'll be doing the Global Geek Gang Thursday, but then every time I think it's going to happen, something, I end up having to go do something. But I'm going to try, and I will definitely bug you, try to convince you to hang out with us. So.
I would love to join you, but it is a busy time of the year, so it's understandable.
Oh, yes. Oh, these were just actually flukes that happened on Wednesdays. The rest of the time, and believe it or not, yeah. So, but thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'll probably
thank you
for a little bit longer here and hang with the fellers for a minute. Not too much longer though.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you for joining us tonight. We have some of the best people in chat. We really do. Reading your comments. Thank you. Seriously.
Absolutely. Thank you all for being here. And a big shout out, everyone. Hey, Put PV in the chat for Purple Valkyrie. We love it. And we love you, and we thank you so much for hanging out with me. It's always just so much fun. Let's do it again. I got to think of a damn topic to get it, I know we don't need a topic, but best to have one. But I will.
Let's put our heads together and see what we can come up with. I'd love to do a kind of once I read Astro City to give my thoughts on it, if you'd be interested.
I would love that.
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance to read them, I'm here.
Absolutely. That would be fantastic.
Absolutely. And anything else, if you come up reading anything else and you want to talk about, please let me know. Yes,
we're going to have to do a dedicated show for Judge Dredd as well at some point.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. We've already reviewed the movies, but yeah, so.
Yes.
And I was so fair to them.
And we know how much Clobby loves the movies. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not Michael with Retroblasting is about to make me. Soon we're going to review the Shadow movie with Alec Baldwin. I have not seen such horror.
Ooh.
I
remember that film. Yes.
Some like it for some reason. What can I tell you?
I remember watching it, but I didn't feel strongly either way. It was just one of those films that I watched and kind of forgot about. Kind of like Phantom, with Billy Zane. It was that sort of thing.
Yeah. I kind of like that one. But yeah, I hear you.
I kind of liked it as well. I like the costume.
Yes. Oh, yes, indeed. Well, we'll think of something, dear. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Again. Appreciate you. Have a wonderful night. Get some rest there. And I hope I'll see you before then, but just in case, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you, Clobby. Always an honor to get to join you. So massive thank you for letting me pop on tonight and hang out with you guys. Thank you guys in the chat. Always great to see everybody. And I will say Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. And no doubt we will see each other soon anyway.
Indeed. Love you. You take care.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Everyone, the wonderful Purple Valkyrie. J-Man, you love The Shadow. I love The Shadow, too, which is why I couldn't stand that movie. Yeah. Shadow movie with Alec Baldface. Well, let's just say I could use a couple more Jonah Hex covers to take it, in my mind off of that movie. But actually, I'm teasing my buddy Michael French. I'm looking forward to reviewing that with him. That's gonna be a lot of fun. He thinks it's torturing me, but I'm like, no, man, it's a chance to hang out and beat up on that damn movie. So, Oh, Kal-El, I'm still here, bro. Yeah, I'm about to close it up in a little bit, but I just wanted to, because I did the show an hour early tonight, and so I'm good. The Shadow, the Phantom, the Spirit, Lone Ranger, John Carter were all swings and misses. I don't think John Carter was a miss. I mean, he didn't make any money, but I love John Carter. I like the Phantom a lot. The Shadow and the Spirit were garbage, and Lone Ranger was garbage. So yeah, but I'm not on John Carter and the Phantom. I like. Well, we'll see about that, J-Man. As far as my hate, because when it comes to Alec Baldface's Shadow, I saw it the one time at the cinema, at the theatre, back in whatever hell it was. Hated it. Directed by the same jackass who directed Highlander 2. And never watched it again. Similar to the situation happened with Dredd, if you know what I'm saying. So, you never know, J-Man. You never know how my much older self, with all that water under the bridge, even though I still don't like Alec Baldwin. Yeah, I remember some of the things in the movie that aggravated me, though. That stuff about him actually being, wasn't he actually in this movie? He really was Lamont Cranston, which is stupid. I don't know, but I might watch it and have a look. I was a totally different person, buddy. But I love the Phantom. I really love Billy Zane's The Phantom. Really did. Simon Wincer directed that one. But yes, Phantom Outsider. I agree. The promotion for he was Kent Allard in the movie, though. I thought in the movie they just said it was Lamont Cranston. Now it's been 40 years, so Jonathan Winters was the Shadow. Stop messing with my memory, butthole. Yeah. Anyway, so I just remember hating it. So I can tell you, I can't remember much about it other than not liking some of the what few scenes we got with the so-called Shadow in there. I know Lamont Cranston was an alias, but in this, I think in this movie he wasn't Kent Allard, though, was he? That's what I'm saying. They got rid of the Kent Allard. There really was a Lamont Cranston. Stephen Baldwin was Larry Cranston. Now you're just making shit up. All right. I could have swore that they got rid of the Kent Allard character and just made him Lamont Cranston the whole time. They made him a drug lord and stuff. Stop trying to confuse my memory even more than it already is. That was weird. I don't know if I got to see all of those, Hungry Boy, the Phantom in the Future one, by the guy that did Eon Flux. Phantom Outsider. I used to have the skull ring. They gave out skull rings at the showing of the Phantom. No, actually, they didn't. The guy gave me a couple of skull rings from the Phantom, which I don't have anymore. Remember, he was evil, then turned good. Then he was called Lamont, but I can't remember that was changed. Well, if that was changed. The guy you made me listen to explain Ken Allard, Lamont Cranston identity. Yeah, Tex did. Now, I thought in the movie that they didn't have the Ken Allard thing. I thought it was just already Lamont. I don't remember. And I'm not going to argue with anybody either because if I can't well argue something if I don't remember what I'm arguing about. So all I know is the movie sucked donkeys. You got him. I got a skull ring. I got mine from Joey Grillot, Claudia, because I saw him at the theater when I saw the Phantom. Now, this D-Bud, that's me trying to remember crap that I can't remember well. There wasn't skull rings at the theater. I don't know if the theater had them or not, but a buddy of mine that I ran into at that showing that I saw it, I brought my son, and we were the only ones in the theater. It was the middle of the day, and a friend of mine who had seen it, he gave me skull rings, and I thought he said he got them from the theater, but I'm not sure. Knowing him, there's no telling where he got them. Rest his soul. You're talking about 1996, right? 95 or 96. I'm lucky to remember what I did 5 minutes ago. Now I just forgot what I did 5 minutes ago. I'm sure it was not something important, though. Comic shops had the rings. Well, I got one from Joe Grillot that was different from the comic shop ring. And I gave it to Tex. I was able to make co-creator of Jonah Hex, Tony DeZuniga, in 2011 before he passed in 2012. Jonah Hex and Legends of Tomorrow was a surprise to me. Yeah, I didn't like that guy that played him in Legends of Tomorrow. I didn't like Legends of Tomorrow either, but I didn't really like that guy that much. Okay, now the theater did give him out. Allard. Just saying Allard doesn't really give me any context. Phantom Outsider. I assume you're probably saying that his original identity was Kent Allard, which is true. He's an aviator, I think everyone knows that. But the crap in the movie about him being a drug lord was stupid. However, wasn't it the story along the lines of Kent Allard? Whatever happens to him, he later becomes Allard. Okay, then you're really gonna wussy about pronunciation. Eat a bag of crap. You what grammar Yahtzee? Anyway, just kidding. Well, don't eat a bag of crap. In fact, I strongly advise you to not eat a bag of crap now. No, I'm taking it back completely. Do not eat a bag of crap. Because you have to see when someone says it's all kind of good to say eat a bag of crap, but if you have to have someone put crap in a bag for that to happen. Well, I'm glad you remember stuff about the movie. Yes, I'm fully aware that you were not grandma and me, that you were talking about Alec Baldwin. Jesus. We need to switch places. Oh dear, oh dear. It's been a long week, folks. Getting from there to here. Can't eat a bag of crap unless you're at Golden Corral, according to Riffrax. Well, that's not very nice. Yeah, they have made Golden Corral songs. Jokes rather. Oh man, I'm tired. Oh boy, I'm tired. Well, yeah, I'm heading out myself there, Jay, man. Thank you for being here, brother. I appreciate you. I want to thank everyone for hanging out with us tonight. Wednesday night, I will hang with everyone. It'll be, I guess, open geekness because I was planning a comic book review, but the gentleman I was going to do the review with I can't make it, I don't think. So we're just gonna let's see here. Probably just put it off to next year. So in the meantime, I've got a lot of reviews planned for comics and a lot of other stuff. I'm just dragging bottom right now. I don't know why. I shouldn't be tired. I haven't done anything today, but once a future thing, Batlash won a Green Lantern's ring. Jonah replied, "Ain't dependable. They jam." Cool. So, thank you all so much for hanging with me tonight. I really appreciate it. I want to thank the wonderful Purple Valkyrie. Everybody, hey, get some rest and get ready for the new year. Thank you, the wonderful, lovely Sherry. It is absolutely great to see you. Catman, a.k.a. Dee Myers. Bark D with a C. J-Man, Decepticon, the great Chris Persia, the great Eric K. Dadman. Dadman. I thought Dadman was here, wasn't here. Sorry. Well, shout out to him anyway, of course. Oliver Belamonte, Hungry Boy, my brother. D. Bud Martin, the Comic Relief Crusader, Louise X. Sparrow. Thank you for being here with me tonight. I appreciate it. Phantom Outsider, brother. Always good to see you. Kal-El was in here earlier. Who else is here? Minimus Prime was here. Or was he? Yeah. Minimus Prime. Everyone, thank you so much. I promise Wednesday night we'll make something happen. But shout out to the wonderful Purple Valkyrie. Love you for being here. Thank you so much. You've just been a wonderful friend, and we will speak and hang out and stream soon. And before I play the credits, we have a few things to say because we still got a few more shows before the end of the year.
I protest. I am not a merry man.
Briscoe, Bowler, I hope to see you in action again soon.
Count on it. Well, maybe after a brief hiatus.
Beautiful country, isn't it, Bowler?
God bless America.
What do you say we put some miles under these horses? You ready, Comet? Let's ride.
Steve Mitchum! Hey, bro. Oliver, thank you for being here.